Hey everyone, the shop manager and myself back to bring you another video. Honda Pilot, some fresh paint on the hood and the roof. And that was because this year make and model had a problem with peeling, failing clear coat. So what they did is they sanded off some of the problem areas in spaces, in areas. They should have sanded the whole hood all the way down to the metal. You can see they painted over rock chips, dust nibs, and really didn't sand the areas off that are likely to fail. Yeah, and with the nibs and everything else, you see just the real rough texture. As you can see, the overhead lights here, no crisp reflection. That rough texture is due to improper mix, reducer, shitty nozzles and paint, guns, and can be avoided. Let's mask off an area, and with the magic of wet sanding, let's see how we can improve this area right here into something mirror-like with a better reflection from things above the hood. All set up. I have a box full of sanding discs and sand sheets. I have a bunch of polishers that I have laid out here. I'm just going to dig in and grab some. First, let's take some masking tape, mark off an area, nice size area, and we'll see what we can do with this paint. There's no idea of telling how much clear coat they left because they obviously painted over primer, base coat, and clear coat already. We don't know how thick that's, everything is all together, but it doesn't matter. OEM paint, you have at least an idea that there should be 2 mils of clear to work with. Somebody, in a smaller body shop or a backyard somewhere, you don't know how much they left you. It's a guessing game. Once again, we'll be working in this area. Dust nibs, they painted over rock chips, staining, just the most horrible orange peel texture you'd want to see. Let's see if we can get rid of some of that, make it a little bit more presentable. All right, let me just we're going to grab a battery-powered sander / polisher. Start off with 1000 grit. We're going to make it wet. You could have had this disc soaking in water already. Really, you can just spray it as well. Attach it and get to work. So this first step will be the actual muscle work when it comes to making the area flatter and flatter to get more reflection. The flatter it is, the more reflection, the crisper reflection you'll get from the surface. And that's where we're going to start here right now. You can immediately see the clear coat running down the panel as we start to shave it. And the magic of wet sanding is it's being captured in the water instead of dry sanding, which you absolutely can do. I have nothing against that. I just don't want the dust particles to become airborne in a shop that we try to keep as clean as possible. When it comes to applying PPF. You don't have to have the polisher screaming on the highest speed setting. As you can probably tell, the backing plate isn't spinning, but it is oscillating, and that's all you need. It's slightly spinning, but the oscillation is doing a lot of work. Same thing with a polisher. When it does bog down and the rotation stops, it may be hard to see, but it's still oscillating and doing a lot of work. So don't get frustrated when your polisher gets into a corner or a curve and bogs down a little bit. I'm going to rinse off the pad. See how caked up it gets? Every once in a while you need to stop and flush that. Now some of these sanders are wet sanders that have a feed that will spray moisture constantly down onto the surface so it can flush your pad and the surface like I'm doing manually here. We'll clean it off and I'll see what kind of progress we've made so far. As soon as this dries, I will give you a great example, come up close, and show you a great example as to why you can go and should go a little bit further yet. Hopefully you can see this. You can see these shiny spots there, and in here, there. Those shiny spots, those are areas on the clear that we have not reached. So there are a lot of peaks and valleys if you look at this up close sideways. We can keep going until that's perfectly flat. So let's make another pass. Make this wet again. So we're collecting all that dust. It's almost like a small artificial air filtration system that we're implementing here. Let's flush the area and check it again. This is much better. All you're going to see are the shiny spots from those real deep craters from somebody painting over rock chips. We're not going to go that far down. Everything else is nice and smooth and flat. You could polish out from 1000 grit. You can absolutely do that. You could also step down to 1500 or 2000 grit and make the polishing a lot easier. Let's do that. So we'll step down to 1500 grit. But I'll put the disc on a polisher to show you we've used 3 different tools to sand this paint. A battery operated, a pneumatic, and now just a polisher, and they both work fine. All 3 work fine. Turn the speed all the way down of the polisher to the first speed setting. And you're off to the races. if you're going to use a polisher like this for a sander, move the polisher a little bit quicker than you would normally, because it has some aggression. Normally a sander will only have an 8mm or smaller throw. Well, this throw is much larger, so it will get the work done a lot quicker. Flush the area, clean it off. Inspect the work and progress so far. Let it dry and we'll go from there. This can be, wet sanding can be messy. This is going to drip down into some places that you'll need to pop the hood to clean up. It'll run all the way down the car. But I really don't even think about it. I just like the safety of wet sanding on paint because it's so much easier on the clear coat. I don't mind a little bit of cleanup afterwards. By the way, after that step, you can actually see that we're starting to get a reflection off the areas that we sanded because we're stepping down and refining the sand marks. And when you do polishing, you get those sand marks to a point where the naked eye cannot pick it up and it looks like a mirror and glossy. If you looked at it microscopically, you would see a bunch of marring. But again, the naked eye can't pick that up, so it looks perfectly glossy to us. Let's change over to a pad and a polish and go from there. Completely different polisher again. We'll have a Eurofiber 50/50 pad attached to it. And we'll do some polishing. See how it turns out. I'm going to get another drop or two on the surface. The paint work is wicking in the polish. Get rid of that tape. Now look at the reflection. crisp, clear reflection. See if I can get the camera to actually focus correctly. And that's the magic of, now again, they painted over rock chips, so you're not going to get those out. Everything else, like the dust nibs and the orange peel texture and the pitting and the staining and the etching, absolutely. Let's put some numbers behind what we're seeing. We're going from 64 gloss units to 94. Just a little bit of a jump. It's going to be it for this video. Just a little bit of fun and some proof positive as to why you want to add wet sanding to your detailing arsenal. The next time you see a hard paint job such as this, there's no reason to panic. Just break out your wet sand discs, your sheets. You can get them locally at Harbor Freight. I'll catch you in the next video.